Hi everyone, welcome to PFA Color Suite. So today we are taking something from the clients that we have. They sent us a clip and have requested a kind of neo-noir color grading style, which is always defined by very high contrast black and white style combined with very modern palettes. Some typical example can be Blade Runner, can be Cyberpunk, all this. So today I'm looking at three raw clips and how to use PFA Color Suite to color grade them, the best AI color grading pipeline. So let's take a look. I don't see the neo-noir kind of set design or even Gaffer's attempt in simulated lighting in the outdoor. So it's basically rely on natural lighting. The only film noir considered lighting may be the cyan light here, and maybe the yellow and this tungsten light here. And the grading outcome that envision is very different. But before we start, let's examine how noisy and the clip is. So I can see some clear noise in the... So let's just use the default color management to see how good the original image is. And when we just use the native DaVinci Resolve color grading tools, we can see a lot of color noise in the shadows and everything, just without any single treatment itself, just the default color space management. This is the kind of lighting. I would say it's pretty underexposed. At the same time, the lighting on set is pretty limited. That's why there's so much noise in the raw footage itself, which make it very difficult to manage. But of course, with PFA Color Suite, all this problem will be gone. So let's take a look. So let's disable the default color management on the raw. Let's just use the PFA Color Suite to do it. So in order to get the log out, we need to use correction log. You can grade with AI, you can increase the AI influence. We're going to lower the log exposure. At the same time, I'm going to increase the Delogify so that we get a very clean look in this. Look at all the noise here now, comparing to what we have previously. Look at this, trying to lower the exposure and to control the flaws. And once this stage is done, to create the film noir kind of look, of course, let's correct the exposure as well, white balance, so we get a very nice foundation. So the 100% white balanced foundation. But now we realize we're lacking of the colors, right? So we're going to use the sensor level extraction using Spectral Contrast. What it does is extracting the sensor info in terms of red channel, green channel, blue channel. And if you look at the scope, when turn on RGB parade, we are going to increase the red contrast. And just that one single slider, plus the green contrast a little, and blue contrast as well, we get a cinematic result right away. And as you can see from the lens itself, there's actually color fringing as well. So these are many layers of problem we're gonna fix later. So to clear the fringing, we can go to color swap. Let's go to purple, magenta, and reduce the magenta. Let's increase the range and reduce the magenta in the frame. Okay, that helps a little bit with the fringing issue. So now we get a nicely colored image with minimal noise introduced. At the same time, we get the colors and everything back. So now we're gonna talk about color density. So we can increase the global density to further elaborate the color depth, and we can decrease the yellow density. And really now is about how we want to emphasize the scene. So cyan is pretty much the only color in the scene to build a neo-noir kind of style. And here is where we're gonna decide what exactly do we want to create in this shot. There are too much color in the frame. So in this case, it's neutral. It doesn't really have any kind of iconic style to it. So what we're gonna do, we want to increase the teal and pink. Since teal is the core of the palette here, we clear all the distractions and massage them into this palette. And we go into film separation. Let's remix some of the cyan or increase the blue to shift more of the yellow into the blue zone. And we have too much cyan in the shot. We're gonna go to color density. We're gonna reduce the amount of cyan in the shots as well. And let's increase the red density to add the denseness to the skin, as well as the yellow density as well. So that will give us a good foundation to play with. And now look at the before and after. It's totally usable, minimum noise. Now what really we are shorting is really the spectral contrast. So what we're gonna do, is shorting of the tonal curve. So what we're gonna do is increase curve overlay, increase the black point, and increase the shadow roll off. And that will create a milky gray in the shadow to simulate the film texture. And this itself, I think, is natural enough. At the same time, it's sufficient. So we can go back to correction log. Let me increase Delogify slightly, reduce the log exposure even more. So we get a more contrasty. The noir is really about the black and white contrast. At the same time is the modern palette, which is established here. Look at how much vibrance we bring to the shot without clipping the colors, without clipping the highlights as well. And look at how well there's absolutely zero noise in the shadows right now. And this is what we are talking about. So when I turn off all the scopes, you can still get live playback, even though I'm recording on top of operating the DaVinci Resolve at the same time. But the purple fringing is really a lens and a issue, so that's a transition. But look at the before and after, what we have done to this shot. And we eliminate all the flaws in the shadows without using any denoiser at this stage, okay? So once we have done this, we are pretty much nailed the whole workflow. So what we can do, let me clear the training data and let me do the AI training based on this. And now go to the next shot. Similarly, go to correction log, grade with AI, grade with AI, grade with AI. So we lower the log exposure, increase the Delogify. Let's extract the most natural colors of the sensor. Look at how well we control the noise compared to the DaVinci Resolve native solutions, because we are actually extracting the full sensor data and use the reverse engineering the look. So now we actually have returned the image to what the exposure that's supposed to be, so that we can control the amount of noise. If you make it brighter, yes, of course we can do that, but we will expose all the flaws. But if you are exposing from the skin, which in this case, I think this is pretty much a good foundation, then let's do the correction white balance to nail the balance. And next, we can use what we have trained just now with AI training, and we can generate a look. We can filter through variations. So because we so far only have one training data, so this is a pretty nice film noir kind of treatment. It sort of remix everything to red. That's how powerful this AI engine is. Once you have done a grade, even for one project, you can have your own training data for one project, import and export. And so all your looks are in the same kind of style. That's how powerful this whole engine is. And to be honest, if they are selling the idea of conversation of romance because it's thriller, and I think this works. But of course, we can go down to FilmMixer itself. You can do different treatment. They're now going teal and pink. We can go to teal and orange, which will create a totally different kind of mood and set. But it's taking advantage of all the neon lights, and look at how well the shadows and the noise are being controlled in this sense compared to the native DaVinci Resolve solution. Actually, teal and orange does sell the look as well because it helps to create that contrast. If you want everything to be merged together, of course, teal and pink will create that overall contrast. Magenta and green will be purple. So really that gives you the flexibility, really depending on your mood. For me, I think teal and pink works because you sort of cut away the distractions and focus more on the acting and align all these colors, because I don't see they are almost in the same hue. All right, so that's my treatment and decision for this. And similarly for this shot, once you have done an AI training for this grade, for this scene, you can easily go to correction log, correction exposure, correction white balance to get the foundation right. Then just generate a look, and you will base on what you have previously done for the shots and create a very nice different variations that you can play with. And I'm pretty much happy with this result right here. So what we can do, we can increase Delogify, of course, increase the log exposure, and then we can go down to FilmMixer. Do you want more cyan in the shot? Because since we already have a cyan kind of green and cyan kind of tone to it, this can be the emphasis. Or I can go down to color density and play around with, this should be green, right? I increase the selection on the green and can make it denser. Look at how well it actually adds the denseness to the shot. And we get a super clean image with very phenomenal result and playback at full live speed. And yeah, that's basically how I color grade all different scenes. And look at how the before and after, it brings the entire cinematic weight to it, and the film noir kind of texture without much variations there or over pushing. All right, so you look at this shot, you also sell the story, the noise cuts away the distractions. That's how powerful PFA Color Suite is. For example, now if you do this shot, let's grab a still and let's disable our effect and let's go to color manage. Let's compare the difference. Okay, so this is DaVinci Resolve native conversion versus our treatment. Look at the amount of noise treatments. The noise are almost non-existent in our doings, right? That's how powerful it is. And this is the raw conversion versus our grading. Look at how well we bring instant texture and color and focus into the shot. So building a palette is not easy. So sometimes getting the right tool is more important than getting a better lens. Here we go. So we have 3 different kind of look for selling different kind of narrative. This thing can be more open up, so things are clearer. Lighting, it can be told, is more around 5000K, is pretty neutral. This is clearly one to signify maybe a turning point in the relationship. So we use red to signal that. And here is just outdoor scene. We build their cinematic contrast and their weight in the conversation, and that's good enough. So that's all for this episode. You can see how powerful it is for PFA Color Suite to extract the raw color information for any kind of footage you throw at it, be it GoPro, be it DJI, or whatever image you throw at it, you can handle it flawlessly. The best part is like tools like film spectral contrast. Sometimes you spend money on lens, but the sharpness in lens or the aperture in lens, yeah, does create bokeh and does create different kind of look. But the look development, the color grading itself is an entire system. You need to have a system that is not destructive. For example, if you throw any LUT in the process of treating this kind of raw, you will instantly break the footage because of the native noise in them. So you need the best tool to extract the raw data information, process them, edit them, and package them in a system that one node solves everything. So that's the power of AI training as well as the AI grading capability of our tool. So you can try out all the free trial at 11.3, and you want to upgrade to a license, it's only $14.90 for a monthly subscription, or lifetime you can use the 45% off with Thank You 2026 offer. Okay, that's all for this episode. My name is Nash, Passion, Fears, Ambition. I shall see you in the next one.